Applied Linguistics and Language Use, Lecture 2. Applied Linguistics and Language Use. There is a role to applied linguistics in the field of language use and methods. Based on the different perspectives on language, there are many using and learning methods developed. Some of them are as follows. First, grammar translation method. Grammar translation method is a method of foreign or second language teaching which makes use of translation and grammar study as the main teaching and learning activities. The grammar translation method was the traditional way Latin and Greek were taught in Europe. In the 19th century, it began to be used to teach modern languages such as French, German, and English, and it is still used in some countries today. A typical lesson consists of the presentation of grammatical rules, a study of lists of vocabulary, and translation exercise. A lesson: grammatical rules plus vocabulary plus translation. Because the grammar translation methods emphasize reading rather than the ability to communicate a language, there was a reaction to it in the 19th century. See natural approach, direct method, and there was later a greater emphasis on the teaching of spoken language. Grammar translation is a way of studying a language that approaches the language first through detailed analysis of its grammar rules, followed by application of this knowledge to the task of translating sentence and text into and out of the target language. Reading and writing are the focus. Little or no systematic attention is paid to speaking and listening. Vocabulary selection is based solely on the written text used, and words are taught through bilingual word list, dictionary study, and memorization. The sentence is a basic unit of teaching and language practice. Much of the lesson is devoted to translating sentence into out of the target language, and it is this focus on the sentence that is a distinctive feature of this method. Accuracy is emphasized. Students are expected to attain high standards in translation because of the high priority attached to meticulous standards of accuracy, which, as well as having intrinsic moral value, was a prerequisite for passing the increasing number of formal written examinations. Grammar is taught deductively, that is, by presentation and study of grammar rules, which are then practiced through translation exercise. The student's native language is a medium of instruction. It is used to explain new items and to enable comparisons to be made between the foreign language and the student's native language. Shortcomings: a tedious experience of memorizing endless list of unusable grammar rules and vocabulary and attempting to produce perfect translation of stilted or literacy prose. It is a method for which there is no theory, there is no literature that offers a rational or justification for it, or that attempts to relate it to issues in linguistics, psychology, or educational theory. Summary: grammar teaching involves any instructional technique that draws learners' attention to some specific grammatical form in such way that it helps them to understand and internalize it. Translation can make the student come to closer grips with the target language. A simultaneous awareness of two media could actually make the student see the points of convergence and divergence more clearly, and also refines the tools of perception analysis, resulting in divergence thinking. The direct method uses a natural way to communicate, like a baby learning its mother tongue. In the late 19th century, in Europe, for economic development, the communication among nations became more frequent. Foreign language learning was highly demanded. Oral communication became the main goal of foreign language teaching. Revolution to grammar translation methods. One of the revolutionists was Francis Gowin, first introduced in France and Germany. Berlitz used extensively in Rhode Island, USA, and opened the first language school. Strong's theoretical base in linguistics and psychology. Language is primarily spoken, not written. The basic unit of language is sentence, learning how to use a foreign language to communicate. No translation is allowed.